So on this video, I'm talking about one of the untold secrets of pig farming. As a pig farmer, there are so many things that over the years you come to realize that these things are amongst the major things that help your farm either grow or not grow. And one of those secrets is what I'm talking about in this video. Now, what is that secret? Majority of people don't know this, but this is actually a critical factor in the success or failure of your pig farm. Now, what is that secret? That secret is basically how you treat your workers. There are so many farmers who don't prioritize their workers. They only care about their animals, the welfare of the animals. And you don't care about the welfare of those people who manage your animals when you are not there. Because as a farmer who probably has workers, there is a high probability that you are not always in your farm. Because the essence of hiring workers is so that you can be able to have more time to do other things you want to do. For example, me, I'm not always at the farm every day. In some weeks, I can come to the farm four days in a week, sometimes 3 days. When I'm busy, probably 3 days. So majority of the times, even at night, I don't sleep in my farm. At night, it is the workers who are here. If anything goes wrong in the night, it is them that will be able to handle it, not me, who is probably in my house or somewhere else doing something else. So prioritizing the welfare of your workers is very, very important. It's very key, especially if you have a well-sized farm. You have to prioritize the welfare of your workers. Now, as long as your farm can afford it, because don't forget, this is a business. You can't say because you want to take care of your workers, you now start doing things that your farm can't afford to give them. Now, as long as your farm can afford it, number one, pay your workers well. Pay your workers well. One worker at your farm should be able to manage at least 100 to 150 pigs. Because if you give them more than that, it could become too difficult for them and they might grow to dislike the job because the work is now too much. So one worker should be able to manage 100 to 150 pigs. That's if your farm is big. Then that's 100 to 150 pigs. Try your best to pay them well. Now, there's no specific amount you should pay your workers, but try as much as possible to pay them well. In today's Nigeria, now there are many people who are watching my videos who are not in Nigeria. But in Nigeria, the minimum wage is around 30K, 30,000 naira. Now, you should pay them at least 30K or close to 30K, depending on the size of the work. Because don't forget, these workers, they have to eat. And most likely, in fact, majority of the farms I've been to, including my own farm, the workers live in the farm. So you are providing them accommodation and you're also paying them a good amount of salary. One thing you have to make sure is that your workers live in your farm, because your workers will act as both the farm caretakers, the farm attendants, and the security of your farm. For example, if something goes wrong in the night, your workers will come out in the night and check what's going on. Probably your pig delivers in the night. Your pig puts to bed in the night. It is your workers who will come out in that night and come and take care of them and help them give birth without casualties. Now, these are the so many things which you have to do. But most importantly, you have to prioritize the welfare of your workers. Because, like it or not, your workers are human beings. No matter their social class, no matter their economical class, these people are human beings. And the worst thing you can do to a human being is to treat them worse than animals, or to prioritize your animals more than them. They'll be like, hey, this man that is putting his animals before us are human beings. That means he's a wicked human being. And before you know it, they'll transfer that aggression to your animals, because most times you are not there. Even if they see your animals sick or dying, they will not care, because you tend to care about your animals more than them. So as a farmer, as a pig farmer who has a big farm or a well-sized farm with 1, 2, or 3 workers, one thing you must prioritize is treating your workers well. Treating your workers well. You have to treat your workers well. On this farm, I have about 7 workers here, and I make sure I treat them well. Now, I won't go into details of how I treat them well, but basically treat them well, respect them, prioritize their needs and their welfare, because it will go a long way in helping them transfer that same care for their own welfare, which you are showing them, to your animals. Because if oga no dey show love, your workers no go show your animals love. That's basically it. You can't be wicked to someone. You can't treat someone worse than your animals and expect them to treat your animals any better when you're not around. Whatever you give to your workers is what they will give to your pigs. It's as simple as that. Over the years, this is what I've come to realize. And a lot of farmers keep making these mistakes. Their farms have gone, and I've seen like how the owner of the farm treat the workers as if they are nothing, as if they are lowly people. No, we all are human beings, and the amount of love you show to these workers, the amount of respect you show to them, we make them transfer that same thing you give to them to your animals. In fact, one of the things which you have to start doing as a farmer who has workers is make your workers feel important. Now, how do you do this? Every now and then, call your workers individually, personally. Call them, ask them, how can we improve this farm? It will make them like feel belonged. It will make them feel as if they are part of the farm, which makes them, when you feel that someone is making you a part of a project, you feel like contributing more to that project because they've made you to feel important. This is one of the laws of human nature. If you want people to contribute more to a project, you have to make them feel important. You have to make them feel as if they are a major part of that project. Once in a while on this farm, I call my workers, even those who cannot speak English very well. I call them, even those who don't who basically don't even know much about the whole pig farming thing. I call them and I ask them, from what do you think we can do to improve this our farm? I always call it our farm. I don't say my farm. No, I call it our farm, so that they will feel inclusive in the whole farm setting. You ask them, how can we improve it? Those guys you think that they don't know anything. You see them talking. You see them giving you valuable ideas. Sometimes they'll give you foolish ideas, but it is now your own job as the owner of the farm to know which ones to take and which ones to throw away. But all in all, you have to make them feel important. You have to treat them well. This is a huge secret in pig farming. And majority of people don't know this until it's too late. That is why sometimes your workers will end up being the ones to do you bad. Whereas they should be the ones taking care of the farm. But they are not the ones trying to, do you bad in the business. So, in as much as you're a business person, but as a business person, one of the major things you have to learn, if you don't know this, as a business person who manages people, as a business owner, or as a businessman, or as a businesswoman, one of the core skills you need to have as a business person is ability to manage human beings, ability to understand human psychology. Yes, you have to understand human psychology. I'm now moving away from business. I'm now moving away from pig farming into business. You have to understand human psychology as a business owner. Because if you have the ability to manage human beings, managing your business becomes easier. Because at times, the hardest part of running a business is managing your fellow human beings. And now, if you don't have that skill as a human manager, you are bound to run into problems, because everything you do in business, whether you are buying, you are selling, or you are managing the whole process of production, involves human beings. Unless you're a one-man army, you're a one-man squad who can do it all. But one thing is that you can't sell it by yourself, and you can't buy by yourself, and you can't produce by yourself. Unless your business is a very, very small one. So, human management is a core skill in business, which you must develop to be able to run a pig farm. To be able to run not just a pig farm, any kind of business. So that's basically on this video. If you're a pig farmer, I would advise you get my ebook, It is a beginner's guide to pig farming to help you, to give you the basic knowledge on medication, on feeding, and some of the things I also do on this farm. And mind you, I also have a practical course from A to Z of what pig farming is all about. In that course, you will see the practical aspects of me injecting these pigs, me mixing their feed, me basically, in fact, everything that has to do with pig farming. Because most of you are struggling with finding pig farms where you can learn the practical aspect of pig farming, where you can see firsthand what is being done. That is why I developed this video course, the A to Z of pig farming, practical video guides. This one is not ebook, it's a practical video guide. I think there are about 50 videos in that course. 50 videos of 5 to 10 minutes, which we explain in detail with practical everything I do on this pig farm. As you can see, this is a pig farm and we are growing, and hopefully we shall grow more. So this is me giving back to my viewers and to those who have been following me, and it's not even that costly. So mind you, in pig farming, one of the most important things you have to do is to gain the knowledge, because if you don't understand this pig farming, I don't see you succeeding. I don't see you succeeding. So this is something you must prioritize. Knowledge in every business is paramount. Paramount. So that's basically today's video, guys. See you guys in the next video. Thank you and peace.